What is up, guys? Welcome to the Star Wars Stop. In this video, I'm going to tell you my tips and tricks on how to use the AT-AT as effectively as possible. Now, this thing is an absolute unstoppable beast if you know what you're doing in it. The thing about this AT-AT is the damage of these lasers is not, or the splash damage rather, is not as high as it was in Battlefront 1, so you need to be more accurate when you're using this. But getting to the abilities that an AT-AT gets, heavy laser cannon, which basically gives you a cannon that does a lot more damage, refresh, it hits your teammates, powers off cooldown, and orbital strike, the bad boy itself. Orbital strike was not that good, to be honest with you, in Battlefront 1 towards the end, because everyone could see where the orbital strike was going to drop, so you could easily avoid it. But now in this game, the enemy cannot see, like, they just get a little statement that orbital strike incoming, but they don't actually see a big radius on the map, and they think, oh, I gotta get the hell out of there. So you will catch heroes off guard, you will catch large groups of enemies off guard, you will catch tanks off guard with orbital strike. Now the left ability, like I was telling you, is just the heavy laser cannons. As you can see there, it absolutely destroyed that AT-ST. You didn't stand a chance against that. So you have much more maneuverability as far as your aim is concerned with the standard fire gun this gets when you just push the fire trigger. But when you switch to the heavy cannons, you have a little bit more of a confined space and a slower fire rate, so it's not going to be as good for picking off targets in all different multiple directions. You kind of use that when you know you've zeroed in on a location that has a ton of enemies either clustered up or maybe a hero or a tank. That's when you use the heavy cannon, like I'm doing right here when I see this AT-ST coming at me. The other thing I'm going to recommend when using the AT-AT is drop the orbitals as often as possible. They will get you so many points if you use those well. I mean, it's insane. If you can kind of keep your eye consistently on that ability's cooldown, because the minute it comes off cooldown, you need to be ready to use it. It's going to dish out a lot. Most of your kills are literally going to come from the orbital if you're playing the AT-AT right. But anything else, like, as you can see, sometimes it's hard to aim low with this thing. It can be a pain in the butt when you have to aim at something that's a little bit too close underneath you. It's hard to do that. But another thing is to use the ability refresh very often on this. It's going to be a tremendous help to your team if you keep on refreshing their power. So don't be selfish, pay attention to that ability and use it when it comes off cooldown. Again, in Battlefront 1, if you played Battlefront 1, the splash damage was a lot bigger. But on a map like Hoth, okay, so there's basically two maps you can use this on. You can use it on Hoth and you can use it on Endor. On a map like Hoth, I find that it's a lot harder to target the enemies at times because there are so many little crevices that they can run into, and they can also get away by just getting into an area where you cannot even aim at them. But you're going to want to take out the gun emplacements. Here's a great example of just how low the damage is on these lasers actually. As you can see, I'm hitting that Y-wing head on, and I know a lot of those shots didn't connect, but you would think like this gigantic tank, like literally one or two shots would destroy a starfighter, but it's not the case. And it's the same with infantry, man. You have to shoot at them quite a few times to get kills on them. So it's a little bit different than it was in Battlefront 1. You're going to have to aim at them a little bit longer to actually kill them and get kills. But you do have a very important job when you're playing in the AT-AT. You don't just get in there and think, okay, I'm going to farm kills and have fun. If you are an AT-AT, remember, you are the objective. You are what the enemy team is trying to destroy. And remember that they're all shooting at you. And since this is not the real world, everyone's using these laser light show lasers that literally tell you where the enemies are. That's one of the best things of being in an AT-AT. Since you're the objective, all the enemies are going to be shooting at you, and all that's going to do is give away their location to you. That was an insane little point streak right there. Unfortunately, we actually did lose that game. I went on an onslaught with the AT-AT, but it was just too much firepower from the enemy team. But as you see, we will top the scoreboard. Yeah, man, I mean, it's a lot of fun. If you guys kind of tried it 1 or 2 times, said, oh, this is not as good as it was in Battlefront 1 and left it alone, I recommend you try it again with some of these tips in mind, and hopefully you have a better experience. I think the ATAT destroys. Anyways, guys, be sure to rate, like, comment, and subscribe, and have an awesome day.